The National Pension Commission is the regulatory body of the pension industry. They are saddled with checkmating the activities of the operators, such as the pension fund administrators, the pension fund custodians, and even the closed pension fund administrators. Hello and welcome to Pension Matters. My name is Princess Rabi Ibrahim, and I'm so glad to have you join us. On today's episode of the program, we'll be discussing good governance as practiced at the National Pension Commission. For details of this and more, stay with us as the program will continue shortly.
Do you know there is a new pension scheme in Nigeria? It is mandatory, it is contributory, it is fully funded, based on individual retirement savings account. Under the supervision of the National Pensions Commission, the new pension scheme guarantees lifelong financial independence for every citizen of Nigeria in public or private employment. PENCOM says it's a new dawn. Call the National Pensions Commission now or log on to www.pencom.gov.ng for further details. PENCOM, your contribution counts.
Welcome back. And if you're just joining us, the program is Pension Matters. And it's time for us to join Adanze Okorocha to find out what is trailing in the pension industry. Adanze, it's over to you.
Thank you very much, Princess. Hello viewers, welcome to Pension Trail. This is where we'll give you the latest update and happenings in the pension industry. My name is Adanze Okorocha. First, Lagos State pays 1.08 billion naira pension accrued rights. The Lagos State government has cleared a total sum of 1.08 billion naira pension accrued rights to retirees from various government agencies under the contributory pension scheme from the month of April 2016. Mrs. Ajoke Lawal of the Public Affairs Unit of Lagos State Pension Board said the payment has brought the total number of retirees paid between August 2015 to April 2016 to 3,069 retirees. The total accrued rights paid by the state from the affirmation month to date is 13.701 billion naira. The Director General of the State Pension Board, Mrs. Folashade Onanuga, advised the retirees to carefully take decisions on how to invest their funds. She also assures that in no distant time, retirees will receive all their entitlements. Next on our story today, 1 billion naira pension fund invested in infrastructure, says PENCOM. The Director General of the National Pension Commission, Mrs. Chinelo Anoh Amazu, at a public hearing before the House Committee on Pension said pension funds need to be invested in order to meet Nigeria's infrastructural challenges. Mrs. Chinelo said, however, that only 1.36 billion naira out of the 1.16 trillion naira infrastructural financing has been made accessible. Mrs. Anoh Amazu, through her representative, Mr. Ebenezer Fobi, the PENCOM commissioner, said that this figure is as a result of lack of structured investment for pension fund. The DG says that the fund has been invested by licensed pension fund operators and closed pension fund operators as a pool of funds under the custody of licensed pension fund custodians. Finally, Governor Ahmed approved the payment of salaries and pensions. The Kwara State Governor Alhaji Abu Fattah Ahmed has given approval for the payment of March and April salaries and pensions of 24,042 workers and pensioners who have been cleared in the ongoing staff verification exercise in the state. This was disclosed by the State Secretary to the State Government, Alhaji Isiaka Good, who said that the approval for the payment follows the final clearance of the affected workers and pensioners by the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System. Well, viewers, this is the much we can take on Pension Trail today. Let's get back to Princess.
Thank you, Adanze, for giving us that wonderful update on what is trailing in the pension industry. Viewers, if you're just joining us, the program is Pension Matters, and it's time for our Up Close segment. In our Up Close segment today, we'll be discussing with the head of Surveillance Department at National Pension Commission in the person of Mohammed Bello Omar. Sire, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Nice to have you. Talking about the pension industry, I think the National Pension Commission will be able to achieve a milestone. Everywhere in this country, people rate you 90%, that is 90 over 100, and it's a great pass mark. Now, talking about corporate governance, because a business like this, there must be good corporate governance in place. I want to find out from you, sir, how does the Commission create a good corporate governance in the pension industry?
Thank you very much. Right from the start of the Pension Reform Act, we realized that corporate governance is very important. In fact, the most important, because the business of the pension funds administration is a fiduciary business, meaning that contributors are giving their money to people on trust. So you have to get people that are highly trustworthy and with absolute integrity. We must ensure that there are trustworthy people doing that business. And so, right from the licensing process, in the licensing requirements, corporate governance was number one. For anybody to own a FFA, that person must undergo what we call fit and proper persons test. Now, the fit and proper persons test is a requirement that you make references from all the financial sector regulators and the security regulators. So, anybody that wants to be a shareholder and has up to 5% is sent to the Central Bank of Nigeria, to the National Insurance Commission, to the Security and Exchange Commission, to the State Security Services, to the Office of the Security Administration, that's the intelligence arm of the police. And they must get positive feedback from all of them before you are allowed to own a license.
Sir, can I come in here?
Yes.
What's the essence of sending the name of these shareholders of this company, intended company, to own a pension fund administrator to all these security agencies you just mentioned?
And the reason is this now, all these agencies maintain records of what most of them what they call, they have information about breaches of like Central Bank maintain a black book where you list anybody that has done anything that is tending to do with fraud or criminal activity. So, or money laundering. So if your name is sent, then they will now check their records to see whether you one time or the other have issues of integrity or transparency. And so if your name appears, that means that you cannot be trusted. So in that case, automatically you don't get a license. So that's the reason, because when you do all these checks, including the EFCC, when you do all these checks, then it gives you an assurance that you are dealing with people of integrity, and so they can be trusted. And so they can do very good, in terms of corporate governance and corporate behavior. Additionally, once we give you the license, there are also requirements. You have to sign a code of conduct document that you make an undertaking that you will uphold the utmost integrity and the highest level of corporate governance and behavior. Meaning that if in the process we notice that you have breached that condition, we can then suspend you or remove you or even revoke the license of your company. So that's the extent. And on a yearly basis also, the directors and the top management are made to also fill the corporate governance report, which includes an external evaluation. So those are the ways that we make sure that adheres integrity. Of course, in terms of transactions, we monitor transactions closely, and we set requirements of behavior in terms of transparency, in terms of the transactions. So there are conditions, like for example, if you own the company, there are transactions you cannot do as an owner, because we want to have what we call arm's length transactions. So there will be no insider dealings and things like that.
Very good, sir. So we'll take a short break now, so that when we come back, you give us more insight into the activities of this year department. Viewers, the program is Pension Matters, and I've been discussing with the head of surveillance department and the National Pension Commission. We'll take a short break now. When we come back, we'll continue with Mr. Mohamed Bello Omar on the activities of his department. Don't go away.
Do you know there is a new pension scheme in Nigeria? It is mandatory, it is contributory, it is fully funded, based on individual retirement savings account. Under the supervision of the National Pensions Commission, the new pension scheme guarantees lifelong financial independence for every citizen of Nigeria in public or private employment. PENCOM says it's a new dawn. Call the National Pensions Commission now or log on to www.pencom.gov.ng for further details. PENCOM, your contribution counts.
Welcome back. The program is Pension Matters, and like I said earlier today, I'm discussing with the head of surveillance department at the National Pension Commission. Mr. Bello, before the break, you were telling me all what I need to get in place to make sure I become an operator, that is to own a pension fund administration company. Now, after knowing that, I want to find out what are the guidelines that are in place to regulate these PFAs by the National Pension Commission.
Thank you very much. Once you get the license, then you now enter the regime of supervision. Every activity that the PFA does is regulated. So there are regulations and guidelines. The way you register customers, how you go and look for customers and register them is regulated. We have the regulation on registration of employees to get the RSA and PIN numbers. There is also regulation on how what you do with the money that is remitted every month. So as you receive the money, there is a regulation on the investment, which we call the investment regulation.
I think these are the most important regulations.
Yes, the investment regulation especially, because that one, the investment regulation specifies exactly what you have to do with the money. It tells you what type of investment you can do, and so you know exactly you cannot invest maybe in some other things. And it even tells you how much you can invest in a particular company.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are investment, what we call limits. So that if you are investing, like say in Nestle, there is a limit you can invest, just to make sure that you don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's the strategy. So, and it also tells you what type of risk that you should try to avoid. So it is not that you go and invest money where maybe the risk is too high and then you are not likely even going to recover your principal, talk less of making profit.
I'm happy that National Pension Commission regulates the investment, you control the investment of the pension funds.
Yes.
But there's one question that had been bothering me and what I ask you right now. Do you involve the contributors before you consider the areas their fund will be invested in?
No, that is not done directly now.
Okay.
What the laws just identify is that the type of investment and how it will be done. But we are in the process of giving the investor some little choice, in that now what we have is that all the monies that are collected are in one pot.
Okay.
So they are invested as one.
Okay.
But now we want to create like 4 different pots, hopefully, and they will tend to cater for the different profile of the customers. For example, there will be the retiree fund. If you retire, your investment should be different from somebody that is 25 years old.
Oh, great.
Because as a retiree, you need to be getting cash every month.
Exactly.
But the one that is 25 years, he has to work for another 25 years before he starts even getting the money. So you can invest this one, the type of investment you can do is different from somebody that is retired. Somebody that's retired, you don't need to go and start investing his money in long-term assets like
property. Short-term.
Yeah, but that's one that has a lot of. So we are going to have like 4 buckets or 4 pots whereby now that one when we do, there will be some choice that people can make to invest. But you have to take note that we are dealing with like 7 million people.
Exactly.
If you say that everybody has to decide what should happen, then that means you are going to have 7 million investments.
That's why I like what you said.
Yes.
You're going to have like 4 pockets of investment structure, which you can choose from.
Exactly.
Because if you leave it open, it will be very difficult.
No, definitely. It's not easy. You cannot handle like 7 million people, each one telling you, buy me this, buy me that. So that's the reason. But definitely going forward, hopefully before the year runs out or early next year, we are likely going to have those buckets in terms of the investment. Then we also have guidelines in terms of how we withdraw the money also. Okay. So when you retire, there is guidelines that clearly defines how you can then follow and get your money. So that's that guideline. There are also what we call returns or information that the PFS are sending to the commission on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. So we really know what is happening. Every day, if you buy like FZ, if a PFA buys FZ today, by tomorrow we'll know it, and we'll know how much units and at what price. So we monitor everything. If you are selling also, when you sell, if you sell like Liver Brothers today, we will know how you have sold shares in Liver Brothers, how much you sold and how much profit you have made and things like that. So it's detailed enough.
I know National Pension Commission, I can attest that the commission, you have zero tolerance when it comes to people who are not playing by the rule. And I was not surprised when you said they can be sanctioned and their license can also be cancelled. If a situation we have a PFA that does not play by the rule, and do you have a duration of time that they need to be warned, they need to be communicated with to ask them to do the right thing?
Yes. Normally, most of our guidelines will tell you what you need to do. And if you don't, we'll tell you also the punishment. Okay. So we have what we call a regime of sanctions.
Okay, great.
It's also available. So if you don't do this, you have that. If you fail to do something, then there is the sanctions. Now, the highest, of course, will be the withdrawal of the license. Now, before we withdraw license, we will give you notice. In fact, usually it will have followed through the process of warning, penalty, and things like that. Then when we are sure that all those have failed, we will give you a notice. We will normally give you, the law provider will give you 28 days notice for withdrawal, I think. Notice of revocation of license. So there is a clear notice that you get.
28 days for you to put your house in order. Yeah, or to tell you no, taking over.
No, to put the house in order, we will give you a longer period, maybe mostly 3 months.
Oh, great.
Because what we do is every year also, apart from getting information that you send on daily, monthly, and yearly basis, we also go to your office and do what we call examination. And that examination means that we will look at all your books, we will look at all your doing, and then we will now make a report. Now, our findings will show whether you are doing well or you are not doing you are doing badly. If you are doing badly, we will tell you, look, you have a problem in this area and this area. How are you going to solve that problem? You tell us. If you now will say, okay, how long will it take you to do that? You tell us. So if we are okay with that, okay, go ahead. After the period, if you have not changed, the situation is still not good, then we will give you a formal directive to do the necessary adjustment and amendments and steps that you need to take so that your problem is resolved. And after, if you fail to do that, then we'll now give you the notice of
bring that a long cane.
We'll give you the notice of revocation.
I like what you said about.
But in sometimes, for example, if we identify that the problem with specific individuals, we can remove them.
Oh, great.
Like if we notice that the problem is caused by maybe a director or
the MD,
and
you can remove the MD and then ask them to replace with another person.
Yes,
that's very interesting. A quick one before we wrap up this interview. I want you to tell me, how can you rate the PFA so far? Just a quick one.
Well, it's not that because by the way we regulate them, they all perform very well.
Oh, great.
Because the moment you are not performing well, we take steps. So really, they are okay. We don't have a problem with them.
That's very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much for coming on the program. Next week, sir, I've promised the viewers that I'm bringing you back so that we can continue this series we started today.
You are always welcome. I'm always ready to attend to you and enlighten our customers.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Viewers, the program has been Pension Matters. It's now time for us to join Mr. Patrick on pension education. Don't go away.
Thank you very much, Princess. Hello, viewers. Welcome to this week's Pension Education segment. My name is Igbo Patrick. This week we shall continue with the team members by discussing about the pension fund administrators. The Pension Reform Act 2014 actually provides that the National Pension Commission will be responsible for the licensing and regulating of the industry with regards to the pension fund administration. To that effect, licensed PFAs were given the opportunity to operate within the industry. As we speak, we have over 15 licensed pension fund operators within the industry. Their role is basically to ensure the smooth operation of the pension funds, enroll or register or open accounts for the employees within the various sectors of the industry as regards the pension fund, contributory pension fund. Now the PFA is solely responsible and is to deal directly with every employee. To this effect, the employee is expected to open a retirement savings account with the PFA of her choice or his choice. Once this is done, the PFA generates what is known as a retirement savings account pension identification number, referred to as PIN number generally by most people within the industry, but it's actually known as the retirement savings account pension identification number. Once this number has been issued to you, the PFA is expected to notify the employee in question. And once this is done, it is transmitted either via text or through a letter welcoming you on board. It is expected that you, in turn, reach out to your employer via your human resources or personnel department by furnishing them with the PIN, because the PIN is a unique identity that enables the pension fund administrator to be able to differentiate you from the next employee. When contributions are made on your behalf, it is this account that is credited on your behalf and is managed by the pension fund administrator. The pension fund administrator sole responsibility is also to ensure that the funds under his or under their management is properly invested based on the guidelines issued by the National Pension Commission with regards to investment of pension funds. And this in turn yields a return on investment that accrues to the account. The PFAs actually deal directly with the employee, but the employer also has a responsibility to ensure that all funds remitted or paid in are actually reflected in the accounts of the employees. Next week, we shall continue and get you to understand better the other roles of the pension fund administrators. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Patrick, for that pension education. And viewers, on that note, we come to the end of our program for today. That's our package of pension matters for this week. We do hope you enjoyed all our offerings and hoping that we tune in next week for another exciting episode of Pension Matters. Until then, I remain yours, Princess Rabi Ibrahim. Have a great weekend.